good way to start a podcast.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Oh, man.
Okay, welcome
But yeah.
everyone. We're back with Film in Minnesota. I'm Alan.
I'm Rahana, and we have Elora Riley here with us today.
Hey, everybody.
How's it going?
I'm pretty well. How about you?
Doing good.
Both of
Keeping
you?
busy.
Yeah.
2019.
New year, new us, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
New year, same us thinking about new us.
Yeah.
That's about as far as I can
Yeah.
commit right now.
I'll journal about it later.
Yeah.
But we'll see what kind of progress.
Exactly. There's
Sure.
still so much time.
Oh, yeah.
Procrastination.
We just started. We have over 300 days left.
Right.
Mm.
Exactly.
That's weird.
I mean, time is a construct.
yeah. Seeing as it's April, I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Math is hard. It's okay.
It is. My half
Is it?
birthday's in April.
Is it?
Yeah.
Weird fun fact.
Awesome.
And not really. I mean, it's just like 6 months before my birthday.
Right.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I know people who do things for their half birthday, so that's okay. That's knowing that is understandable.
It's good to know when you're
It is.
almost there.
Yeah.
Halfway.
Right? Yeah.
It's a good accomplishment.
Yeah.
You know, you made it halfway through the rest of the year.
Right?
That's right.
Shrug. I don't know.
Yeah. Sometimes, some years I get to my birthday and I'm like, I just don't know if I'm going to make it to the next one. Like, there's a lot going on.
Right.
And I don't know that I have the commitment right now
Yeah.
to get through it.
Isn't that weird
Tell me
how
about
like
it. We
New
always do.
Year's is always like the end, but then it's like a new beginning suddenly, and it's like, oh, well, you can set goals anytime, right? But
That's true.
Like
Yeah.
New Year's resolution or on
That's
your birthday,
true.
whatever, you know.
That's what we
Yeah.
should do. We should just set goals for ourselves on our birthdays.
Well, it makes more sense because that's when your year started, right?
That's true.
Mhm.
It's like a more natural beginning for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Party
like
for
that.
one.
Yeah. Because I'm alone on my birthday.
Well, I mean, they can celebrate with you, but you know,
Oh, yeah.
others can. Yeah.
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 I like that though.
That's good.
No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter when you start your or you know whatever you want to do.
Your resolutions.
Or goal,
your
setting a goal,
goals,
yeah.
Your intentions.
I don't think. Yeah.
Whatever
of course
you want to call
not.
them.
Yeah. Well, there's
Yeah.
just some times where I'm like not motivated
Right.
to start anything new
No.
or to be like, you know what, you need to get off up your butt and like do stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Like that inner fire doesn't get ignited yet.
Yeah, and
It's like weird times of the year.
it's almost
that
like a
happens to me.
seasonal.
Yes.
Right. And honestly, knowing that everyone else is doing it, like for the people who are like, I want to start working out again. January is not the month that I want to start working out again.
That's when everybody else is trying.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's going to be just a pain in the ass parking,
It's all
getting into
business.
the gym and go. And it's like, can I just start this in March when they're all gone? Because otherwise,
Yeah.
then I'm just going to, like, that's.
It's like,
so,
how
yeah.
long is it? Like the first 60 days that they're abandoned by like New Year's resolutions are
Yeah.
typically abandoned.
Oh yeah.
I was listening to the radio the other day on my way into work, and they were giving the stats on like what percentage of people go past like 30 days and then go past 60 days and all stuff. And it was relatively high. And then once you get past, I think 90, it's like 2. Like it's really small. And you're like, oh, so that's where the cutoff is.
Oh, that is a dramatic drop.
It is, yeah. But it was in like the 80s and like 70s and 80 percentages like for the first couple months. And I was like, that's actually pretty impressive because,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Goals.
Yeah,
Right?
taking things one day at a time and then being like, maybe I could find a YouTube video I could follow along to at home.
Yeah.
And then, yeah,
Exactly.
good luck holding yourself accountable.
Right. That's the thing.
Oops.
Accountability buddy. Something.
Right?
So do you guys have goals for the new year? Did you set a resolution? And
I mean, in general, like I have one that I follow every year, and it's to be more honest with myself and with other people.
oh,
And I think this year I'm kind of adding an addendum to that where I just want to be more communicative and more genuine.
great.
Yeah. Because communication's always been kind of a weird thing for me because I do consider myself to be introverted. And sometimes I think that, you know, I could ask a question or I could just talk about something, but then I get all anxious and then I'm like, maybe they don't want to talk about that or they're going to think I'm weird for bringing this up. So then I just don't.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, I don't know. We all have good ideas and good thoughts. And,
Right.
you know,
Especially if you're
don't judge other people.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. Communicating with friends and stuff, you should be able to, I think. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, my other thing is I want to do some theater this year. Like actual
good goal.
stage stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's been a while since I've done
Yeah.
like a real structured show.
Okay. How long has it been?
Well, I did a show for the 2017 Fringe Festival,
Okay.
and it was called The Tragedy of Obi-Wan Kenobi. It was
Oh,
very
Phenomenal.
mixed reviews, but I had a great time. Yeah.
That was the last one? Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, like I've done, like there's this show that happens at the Phoenix Theater every month, and it's called A Drinking Game.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
I
which
just
is
heard of
super
that.
fun. But it's also like we have a rehearsal in the afternoon before the performance, and that's the only rehearsal you have.
Really?
And then you're all drinking on stage
Yeah.
Ooh.
with a script. Yeah. I mean, thankfully the script is there. You're not just guessing, but
Still.
things can fall apart pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But it's fun. I'm just saying it's
What-
not like the really structured
Yeah,
professional
yeah.
theater
Gotcha.
that
Right.
That
like I
takes
did in
months,
college and-
half a year of your life to do.
Right. Just like 5 hours a day, 6 days a week. Going home, writing in your journal.
Oh, man.
Yeah, but I miss that.
Yeah. Oh,
So, right?
well, that's good. You should go back to doing that.
Yes, I'm working on it.
Yeah,
a good
you
goal.
will.
We'll get there.
You'll get there.
Yeah. Yeah, hey Fringe Fest, I'm coming for you.
Oh, there
Again.
it is.
Yeah.
2019, here we go.
Take it as a threat or
yeah.
a promise, whatever you're feeling.
Well, I tend to look at like focuses for me.
Yeah.
It's just all about like focusing on something I want to focus in on and maybe improve. So
Yeah.
for me, it's adapting this year. Yay.
There you go.
So, yeah. Just
Yeah.
being able, I think there's going to be a lot of change this year in 2019.
Yeah.
I don't know how, I have this feeling for myself. I don't know. I just, think it's going to come with its challenges and I need to be able to adapt quickly. So, yeah.
That's the fun part.
Yes.
Right.
Because before it's just like, oh, this just happened. Are you in or out? And it's like,
Right.
you're out. Okay.
Never hesitate ever.
Yeah. So that's
Yeah.
me. Yeah.
I have some overall like areas in my life that I know I need to focus on and work on and like just better myself, but I haven't like set specific goals or anything yet. I'm procrastinating, which is one of the areas I need to work on. So there we go.
There it is.
Aw.
Yeah.
The first step is admitting that to yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly. But like I've got notes and I've, brainstorming stuff written down. So we'll see.
Cool.
Well, let us know if you need accountability buddies.
I very well might. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that'll have to be our little accountability buddy group.
Like, I don't know where you live, but I know your Facebook Messenger. So
See, there you go.
I'll just bug you sometime.
Right? Just message me at like 4 a.m. one day, like, why haven't you done this?
Are you procrastinating today?
You need to focus more.
No, I won't do that. That's creepy.
All right. Well, we should get.
Maybe toss in a few warm-up questions here.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So, Elora,
yes.
what would one adventure in life be that you would like to go on someday? Anywhere, doing anything?
Well, when I think of adventure, I think of travel. And I would really like to travel internationally some more. I've done some already. Like I've been to a few different European countries. And actually 3 years ago, I would have been in like Southern Africa, Namibia. I was studying abroad. And I think for my next adventure, I want to go to Spain. I think Spain is it. That's going to be the ticket.
Do you know
Spain's supposed to be
Spanish?
amazing.
I took a lot of it in middle and high school. I should know it better.
Okay.
I could probably get by, but I
There's
should
an app
practice
for
some
that.
more. There is an app for that. I was using it for a while, and then I just stopped.
Yeah.
Well,
It happens.
it's hard to practice every day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
There's a girl that I know who just studied abroad in Barcelona and said that in that city. So not only do you get all like the history and the culture and all of that, but a lot of people do speak English as well because it's it's
More
so
Tourists.
it's so touristy. So you can get everything there. Plus, the communication's a little bit easier if you don't speak Spanish. So
Gotcha.
there's that.
Well, that'll be another goal for me. I want to know Spanish a little bit better before I go,
There you
because
go.
I don't want to be that American that's like, doo-doo-doo.
Yeah.
I only know English, and that's barely.
Speak my language.
Yeah, right? I'm going to come to your country and demand that you speak my language.
Right.
That'll go over great.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's rough. I did that in Greece, and it was difficult. Like not being able to communicate with the majority of people. It was very difficult. So,
I believe it. Yeah.
It's a little rough. I was that person.
Get over that barrier.
Exactly. But still really fun to do. Even if you don't end up learning more Spanish, you still definitely go.
Yes.
Because it's going to be gorgeous.
I have a roommate that is a flight attendant, and she has graciously offered to give me a buddy pass.
There you go.
So I'm going to
Ooh.
use it.
Heck yeah.
And I have a passport that doesn't expire for a little while.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Got to get some more stamps.
Exactly.
Same.
Yeah.
Did you know that, this is really random, Australia does not stamp your passport?
Are they like the
Jerks.
one country that doesn't?
Yeah, I think New Zealand might
The
not
one.
either. But yeah, I've been there, and that was the first place I ever went. Didn't get a stamp. I was really upset. I thought that I did something wrong, and I was really sad. And then recently, because I work at the airport, somebody that I work with just went there, and they were like, "Oh no, I talked to the TSA guy, and they just not TSA,
Like customs?
thank you, customs."
Yeah.
And I was gonna say commons. I was like, that's not right. Customs guy,
close.
and they were like, "Yeah, we don't have stamps. We can't stamp your thing."
Huh.
And I'm like, that's
Oh, they
kind of a
can't.
jip.
Huh.
Yeah. I was
Yeah.
like, that's a jip. It's like, what if I
Okay.
bring a stamp, give it to you? Can you then use that?
And then like sign and date it,
Right?
so that I get the credit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thanks. It's like,
You-
now it feels like it didn't happen.
Right. Yeah. Look back on your passport fondly at
Yeah.
this picture of the Mount Rushmore.
Yes.
Right?
But wow. Well, I guess you could always go to the Festival of the Nations and just.
Oh yeah.
That's true.
They have to have some stamps there.
You would think.
Yeah.
They have them for the kids, but yeah.
I'm looking. Yep. What's
It's
the
for
difference?
everyone.
Who even cares?
Right.
Just go to the
I'll
Australian
take it.
one, put it on your real passport.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Official.
Hey, I'm an
No one will
adult
know
that
the
has
difference.
$5 in my pocket. Can you stamp my passport for me?
Right? Yes.
This is a real thing, yeah.
We're going to make this happen.
Because they don't have a stamp, and this is as real as it gets.
Exactly.
And I need it.
Yes.
You don't
It's so
understand.
disappointing not getting that stamp.
Yeah. Well, because every passport has that barcode in it and like a chip.
Yeah.
So they have records of it digitally, but
Right.
Mm.
But,
But the-
that's what the book is for.
but
Is to
the
be like, hey,
stamp-
look at the stamps.
Yeah.
I was
we don't get
in
a
the
digital
places.
copy.
it's like a stampy scrapbook.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is.
It's exactly what it's like. So, second question.
Ooh.
What are some small things that can always make your day better?
I think lately for me is just being outside on a really nice day. Even if it's like cold and in the winter, if the sun is shining, I'm so much happier. And maybe that's just a seasonal affective thing, but I really appreciate sunshine when it happens.
Mm-hmm.
And like a nice breeze.
Yeah.
My roommates also have cats, and they're all very sweet, and I love them, even though they don't always love me back.
As cats do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know how it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
And then like journaling and knitting. Knitting is one of my little, I wanted to say side thing, but it's a hobby. Like I don't make money off of it. Yet.
Right?
Find me on Etsy.
someday.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Don't sell yourself short. That could happen.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. And then what is a random, fun, maybe interesting talent that you have that others may or may not know about?
Well, the one that I think of immediately is a really silly one, and I need to not have my mic in my hand for it.
Okay. I can is
Okay.
it like is this something that people are going to hear?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
I will
Well,
hold it.
hopefully. I mean, if I can do it.
Okay.
So, okay. So this is with my hands, everybody. I'm not being gross right,
Right.
now. I can do hand parts.
Yes.
It's like the one thing that I have that I don't want to put on my acting resume, you know?
But you could.
I could, because I could prove it instantly.
Immediately, yeah.
Yeah.
I know that casting directors will call people out sometimes.
Yeah.
So just now there's proof.
Yeah.
I'll put this in some kind of reel somehow.
Exactly, yeah.
Do you do that when you go to the drinking game and like sit in the audience and just, who is that?
Yeah, geez, like, go excuse yourself.
Yeah.
Get a room.
That's hilarious.
Well, I haven't before, but now I have the idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I will never be invited back to a drinking game.
Yeah.
Kidding. All sorts of stuff like that happens. Just not that. It'll be the
Yet.
Elora brand of weird thing.
Good.
Yeah.
I like that.
Everybody has to have some weird thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Elora,
Yes, Alan.
what?
We're going to take a serious turn.
Yeah. Now,
And scene.
what did get you started in acting?
Whew. Well, it's two small stories. So when I was a kid, my absolute favorite movie was Lara Croft Tomb Raider with Angelina Jolie. And I had a poster of her up on my bedroom wall, and I watched that movie like every time I was sick, and I idolized her as Lara Croft. Like, ask my family. They will back that up 110%. But every time I would watch her on the screen, I would just think, I could do that. I mean, now I'm like, be an action star? I don't know. But like being part of a story, being in character, that was something that I really liked and wanted to do. But when I was, 7, 8, when that came out, I was painfully shy and would never have auditioned for anything ever.
Right.
Like, if you talk to 8-year-old me today, she'd be like, no, there's no way that I'm going to end up like that.
Right.
Like, going into acting ever. But here we are.
Yeah.
So then the little second part of that is the first time that I ever did any real acting was in middle school. I was in 7th grade and I auditioned for my first show. And the director was notoriously not fond of younger kids. So my school went from
no.
sixth grade to 12th grade.
Oh, my.
Yeah, it was all the way through. And obviously you're going to favor kids that are older, more mature to be in your cast. But being a 7th grader, I was cast as the understudy for this show. And even getting that was kind of a big deal.
Sure.
But then there was somebody in the cast that his grades weren't doing so well. And he had to drop out of the show. And I was the only understudy. Like, there was supposed to be like male understudy, female understudy. That didn't happen. It was just me, like 13-year-old with braces. So we gender bent the character, and we kept it a secret because the character wasn't on stage until the 3rd act of the show. And like, my name in the program was my first 2 initials and then my last name, so nobody knew. Nobody. And then there I was as this mob boss that was like terrorizing this town. Or actually it was more like this local newspaper that I was terrorizing, but still it's a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
For a 13-year-old mobster. But that was when I really caught the acting bug and was like, I really like doing this. I really love pretending and having fun and bonding with people.
That's great.
Yeah. And fast forward to today.
Yeah.
Still is awkward.
And a mob boss.
And a mob boss.
Yeah.
Shh.
So as an actor, do you prefer, like, have you done more film versus theater, or like, do you prefer one over the other since they're so different? Or
Yeah, they are super different. Obviously they both have their own pros and cons, but I have done more film recently just because theater does take a lot of time commitment and energy too, because you have to go through an entire show, which can be, anywhere from an hour and a half to 2.5 hours, or even if you're going real crazy and doing Shakespeare, it could even be a 4-hour performance. Yeah, haven't done that, so maybe someday. But as far as where I'm at right now, probably not anytime soon. But the thing is, there is so much bonding that happens when you're in rehearsal with other actors telling a story versus film where you might have like a weekend or a week of straight filming. There's still bonding for both. Can you tell I really just like making friendships and connections with people? It's all about bonding.
Yeah.
But I think right now I'm missing theater, and I want to get back to that.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, I've been preferring film. Just because if I mess up, then we can just do another take, and it's okay.
Yeah. Well, it is a different journey. It's like you said, it's a lot of long nights, and you're all together going over one scene maybe meticulously because you got to stick to the script.
Oh, yeah.
And then you have film where it's like, maybe.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
the script is kind of a suggestion.
Yeah. It's like, yeah.
But because of theater, I always want to stick very,
Yeah.
like, to the word when I'm doing film. So
Right.
if I'll know when I mess up,
Right.
and if I improvise on the spot real quick, because then I'll be like, no, I have to change that. I have to fix that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because I'm so
yeah.
used to prepping for theater
Right.
and having things word perfect.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what was your first film role and when?
Oh boy.
What was it?
No, I remember exactly what it was because it was so cold that day. It was for Z-Fest 4.
Oh.
So, yeah, it was a while ago. I was an extra in a ringside crowd, and it was for the film Torvald the Terrible
Oh,
by
okay.
Red 23 Films. And it was an all-day thing. I think it was probably somewhere between 8 and 10 hours. And it was set in the 50s, I want to say. I remember all of us being like really dressed up. But then watching these sweaty guys wrestle each other out in the ring. And just having that illusion of what filming is totally shattered. Because when I saw the film, I was like, oh, I'm in it for like 5 seconds, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was there all day. We all were. And seeing like how all the close-ups happened and just having the director be behind the camera and cueing us when to do bigger reactions and then like settling us down.
Yeah.
It was just such a cool experience. And I'm friends with some of the people that I met on set that day, like to this day.
wow.
So
That's awesome.
yeah, it was just such a great, fun time on set, regardless of how cold it was.
Right.
Because it was like early February
See?
in a gym.
Different process.
Yes.
You bond over the cold, you will remember that feeling
Oh yeah.
together.
Yeah. No
We're
kidding.
suffering together for art.
So, as you are an actress, have you taken on any other roles in filmmaking before? And if so, what's your favorite? If not, what would you like to take on?
Oh boy. I have had a little bit of crew experience, and that was just this past summer. I was a PA and a script supervisor for like one day on
Ooh.
a web series. And it was super fun. And I'm really thankful that they let a little newbie on like me that's like, I'm used to being in front of the camera. How do you do this? But just taking those kinds of notes and learning how all of that stuff happens, because it doesn't just fall into place. Like you have to do so much stuff before you're filming and then during production.
Yep.
And I was like, I hope I'm doing a good enough job. I don't want to mess you guys up. But I think script supervising would be fun and interesting because when I'm in front of the camera on set or even on a stage, my biggest thing that I'm always aware of is continuity. And if I'm landing in the same spot, if I'm doing the same thing with my arm at the same time or whatever. And I feel like as a script supervisor, that's what you're supposed to be looking for and seeing like, oh, you messed up this word here, or, you know, maybe withholding that because it might not matter because the thought is still conveyed.
Right.
But I think what would be so scary to do is like writing a screenplay. Just because it's so vulnerable. Like you're bringing forth this story that you're like, I think this is really cool. And then having the possibility of people being like, no, this sucks.
Yeah.
Or just the chance of that happening makes me not want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm also one to like face my own fears.
Yeah.
So maybe someday.
We'll
see.
It's a dreadful process. I know
Yeah, how
what
do
you're
you do
talking
it?
about. It's I remember my first Z-Fest film that was premiered in front of an audience, like, because it is, obviously.
Yeah.
But normally, like, before that, it was like, it's online, it's fine. I don't have to mess
You're not
with
there
anyone
watching.
being around anyone seeing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
like you might get a comment later that's like, oh, hey, nice job.
yeah, or just a thumbs up. But then it's like, it was the first one. It was called Elora, and I remember sitting in the theater just being like, oh shit, are they gonna like this or not? Are they gonna get it or not?
Mm-hmm.
You know. And it's like, that was a weird feeling.
Yeah, I
But
bet.
since then, it's worn off a little bit, maybe. No.
Well, I feel like with writing, I mean, that's your baby. Like, you created that from nothing. So
Right.
you're going to always, to some degree, have that feeling.
Right.
And I think it's natural. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is okay.
I mean,
that just
that's-
means that you cared.
Yeah. I mean, that's like the first few minutes that you're ever on stage.
Yeah.
Because I feel like every actor, to some extent, has that little bit of stage fright.
Yep.
That's part of the thrill, I bet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, once you're a couple minutes in, you completely forget about it and just go into autopilot.
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, you're still aware of what you're doing.
Sure.
But, you know, with the 6 months to a year of rehearsal.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just kidding. It's never that long.
Well, Broadway is, but yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, boy. That's like the ultimate actor's workout forever.
Yeah.
I-
Because
wow.
everyone everywhere will see and say it.
Mm-hmm.
However they see it, I guess.
Exactly.
So, do you have a favorite actor
I don't.
or actors?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can never choose one because I
Right.
like different people for different reasons.
Absolutely.
And I'm so indecisive. It is always so difficult for me to just choose one forever. So,
Or favorites, not
Yeah.
the favorite.
Yeah, multiple.
A favorite. Yeah.
I don't think anybody's
Exactly.
ever answered that with just one person. Like, everybody has multiple.
Cool.
Yeah.
I don't want to be the anomaly here.
No.
Just like, well, I like these people. And I always am nervous that I'm going to butcher his name, but Mahershala Ali is one of my favorite
Yes.
actors forever. Just, have you seen him in Luke Cage?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
He's so good. I'm like, be evil forever. You are so good at it,
Well,
but also bringing like humanity to the role.
Yeah.
Because I think that's a difficult thing to do when you're portraying a villain.
Mahershala Ali. That's it.
Marshala?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. I should have plugged it into like Google and had it spit it back out at me.
I had to think about it for a second. I was like, what is that? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, he's one of my favorites. I also am really fond of Sandra Bullock,
Mhm.
and not just because like I seem to continue to play her in a drinking game shows. And I think it's because like she just brings it to every role, like all the way. Like I haven't seen Bird Box yet, so
Me neither.
It's good.
yeah,
It's good.
you like it?
Yeah.
Cool. Because I've seen really mixed opinions on it.
Yeah, I think people have extremely high expectations for it. It's not the best movie of the year.
Right.
It's not. But it's good. It reminded me a lot of A Quiet Place.
Mm-hmm.
I think A Quiet Place is better, but it reminded me a lot of that. And her character was very interesting to me. So I think like as an actor, I really appreciated the film and I appreciated her role and some of the choices she had to make. And I'll leave it at that.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
I think you should watch it.
I'm excited
It's
to go
pretty good,
watch
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Maybe not by myself. I'll make sure that some roommates are home or something.
Or
There
like
you
the
go.
lights are all on and it's during the day. If you
Yeah.
watch during the day, you're fine. Yeah.
You like horror films?
Sweet. I've never really been a horror fan,
Okay.
really. I like being in horror film,
Yeah.
which is, I think it's
Different.
because I know everything that's happening.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I can explain like, oh, that's this effect. Or
Yeah.
like this person looks this way because we had a really awesome special effects person or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. But not knowing what's going on.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just be huddled under some blankets for
talking about
2 days.
That process of acting and filmmaking, what's your favorite part of that process? Or both of them?
I think my favorite part of the process is just really diving into the story and who the character is. Because every role I've ever had, I've always discovered a little something new about myself. And I like exploring characters that are very different from me. Because I think it is so easy to just play yourself, or to play, I guess, a quote-unquote heightened version of you, or a characterization even. Because I think one of my favorite roles that I've done recently, which was for a comedic web series, it's called Femme 101. Check it out. I so loved being on set with all those people. But my character is this woman who's cross-dressing for class because of, you know, like how society views young women, etc. And it isn't like her lying to her classmates or anything. It's just, I'm doing a little social experiment, and we'll see how people perceive me, if they perceive me as the person that I am, or if they're going to be like, sup, dude, duding around.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah. Plus, hair and makeup was so much quicker. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I can't even tell you. Half an hour, I'm in and out, done.
Yeah.
And usually it's like...
Thanks, dude.
Yeah. Then it's, you know, like 30 or 45 minutes just on makeup alone.
Yeah.
For most other roles.
True.
Which is fine. I'm not complaining about that, but it's still like, wow, this is just what it feels like.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah.
So that was a fun experience.
Yeah. I
No
bet.
kidding.
Yeah, and then like changing back into my normal clothes at the end of the day, and people would be like, "Oh, I didn't even recognize you." Like, yeah, I'm still a lady, I guess. Yeah,
A little bit.
a little bit. I'd still be like hunched over, like my character.
Yeah. You
Be
still
like this
kind of got
weird-
that character you're in. Yeah.
Just such a dissonance between like my normal, like posture and everything.
Right.
Yeah, it was fun.
That's awesome. Because then you really explore like the other side of like what, you know, you're working with in a story, and then your character. So do you find that those two, I don't know, does the story dictate the character more or vice versa?
I think it really depends on like what the story is.
Right.
Yeah, I feel like the character dictates the story a little bit more, just because there's like the main skeleton and that like framework that the director or the writer gives you, and then you get to fill in a lot of the blanks. And those blanks, I feel, are what really make the story come to life. Well, and the character too.
Yeah.
But, you know, just thinking of different backstories for characters, like what their history is, will inform how they react to a certain situation. Because that's just how people are.
Yeah. That's right.
And it's so daunting because there are so many different options that you can choose from. And they always tell you in acting classes and even on set or for auditions, like, make bold choices.
Yeah.
Like, go for gold, be bold. Hashtag 2019. You know, like, and I have a hard time really committing to those harder, like, bolder choices. Just because I get timid sometimes, because introvert. But I've been pushing myself a bit more to make those choices, and I've noticed it come through in the work more.
Oh, good.
Yeah, and it makes the story better.
Yeah.
To kind of more answer the question.
Yeah. Well, that's great.
Yeah.
Do you think you've progressed in, I guess, your acting career in as much as you've had expected it to?
I don't know. It's definitely not turning out the way I expected it to. But then I also went into it being like, I'm just going to have fun and see what happens. But really furthering my career, I have had to sit down and plan stuff out a little bit more. Like, okay, I'm going to have this meeting with this agent, and I hope that they decide to represent me. And then, maintaining those kinds of relationships and just staying relevant. It's kind of a big thing.
Yeah.
Well, and even staying present on social media. Like, that's been a main, big topic.
Yeah.
Because I've noticed, and there's nothing bad with it at all, but I've noticed that there are certain films that will cast certain people just based on their social media following.
Right.
And I get it. It's like a free advertisement kind of thing because, to some extent, that person will more likely than not be posting to Instagram, behind the scenes action stuff or whatever,
Right.
whatever it might be. But at the same time, I'm like, there's so much local talent. You should use us.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I agree. Yeah, it's hard to figure that out sometimes because I understand the belief is you have a higher amount of a bigger audience at your disposal already.
Right.
And then, yeah, and that's weird that we talked about this with someone else too, about just kind of how the shift from the best person in the room versus who will bring the eyeballs to your project is just kind of
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and it's personally for me, I think it's sad that there is that divide. And part of me wishes that it weren't that way, but I understand,
Right.
Especially with something that has a bit of a bigger budget that wants to be more ambitious with getting their project out there.
Right.
You want to get the most out of what you're investing, I guess.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
then you get breakout talent suddenly, and it's like Daisy Ridley. It's just kind of well, what do you know about her past, really? It's there's not much there from the film standpoint, at least.
Right.
And there's already so many different things that actors have to worry about when it comes to, okay, I could or I could not be cast in this because of blank, because of my height, because of my weight, because of my hair color, because of this or that. And then having that additional one of because of my, social media following. That just having that additional one, and especially just having it be that when social media initially can be such a
You have to take it with a grain of salt with social media, and it's just really, you're gonna stack the deck with that?
Exactly. So it's already kind of rough, and then adding that just kind of sucks sometimes.
Yeah, that's such a good point. Because I will prep for an hour and a half, 2 hours before a 10-minute audition. So, that's... And then ultimately, 90% of the time, you get rejected. And it isn't necessarily oh, you didn't put enough effort into your look that day.
Right.
Or usually it's you didn't look as good with this person that we already cast.
Yes.
Or you didn't work as well with them. And we liked their performance a little bit better or whatever it is. There's so many different variables. And just having the social media one is ugh, come on.
Yeah.
Can I catch a break?
Especially when social media is already, it can be so depressing to begin with. It can really bring people down. And then the idea oh, I don't have enough people that follow me or care what I have to say every day. So that's why you don't want me to be in this big project that I'm perfect for, potentially.
Yeah.
Great.
It is interesting.
Yeah.
It is interesting because, the casting process is something that is dictated by the story. And then the director's vision. Because that's hard to fit a role that's very specific. And it can be a challenge because so often, that's why it's, it's could be just scheduling. It could be just something that doesn't fit with the agenda. So
very true.
Could be a million things.
Quite actually a million things.
Yeah, literally.
No jokes.
It's true, yeah.
Yay.
So kind of taking a little detour on the topic, the Time's Up movement, the Me Too movement that have been going on for a couple of years now. Have you noticed any changes locally in the film community? And then have you personally had any experiences with that now that the movements are going on and have kind of built up or snowballed, I suppose?
Yeah, snowballed because it's Minnesota.
Yeah.
Yes. I've noticed, I think the biggest change that I've noticed is that a lot more people are talking about it, which I think is the first step because it is such an uncomfortable thing, because it is such a serious thing. And the only thing is I've noticed it's a lot of my female friends that are in the industry that are talking about maybe even their own experiences on a set, or just saying like, you know, this is what happened to me, or, you know, what have you. Like, there are so many different things that can be said about that. But I noticed that a lot of that conversation is initiated by women. And one of the things that I've noticed lately that I hope starts to die off a little is like the men that will be in the comments section and then be really aggressive and be like, what, somebody said that to you? I'm going to go punch him in the face. Like, that's not exactly a good, healthy way to go about fixing the problem.
Right.
Yeah.
Like put your testosterone away. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Like, if you see something, say something. Don't punch something.
Right.
Yeah, look here, Prince Charming. We need
Right.
we need something more constructive. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, I think if we were to try and find a solution, at least like a next step, I think it would just be to put the violence away.
Yeah.
Like, for men that are like, I'll go and defend your honor. Like, that's not what we're asking for.
That's not what we need here.
It's more like, we've been saying this stuff for a long time. Like, this happened to me. This person made me uncomfortable on set. And we feel like we're not being heard, which is why you keep seeing these posts of like women telling their stories. But then it kind of stops in the comment section. And I think what would help more is if men, like, if you do see somebody making a woman feeling uncomfortable, or you see a woman who looks uncomfortable because a man is like in her personal space or is saying something really weird, like, you know, just go and talk to him. Maybe be like, hey, that's not cool.
Yeah. Like,
would you say this to like a guy friend of yours? Or, you know, if the tables were turned, how would you feel in this situation? It's that weird lack of empathy.
Yeah.
And just being able to put yourself in somebody else's shoes. Because I get it, like, men just don't really experience it.
Right.
Because, I mean, I can't say that, like, all men do not experience this.
Right.
Because some women can be really, like, not okay, too. But I just feel like men will listen much more to other men.
Yeah.
Because if you're treating a woman like that, I feel like a woman in your head, like, you're not going to take her seriously in general. So you need to hear it from other guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, check each other.
Right.
Because a little lady like me can only defend herself so much.
Right. Yeah. It's mainly because it has the whole Harvey Weinstein thing is because it went unchecked for so long.
Yeah.
Everyone knew, but it was unchecked.
Right. That's
it's
such
like,
a good
how does
point.
that happen for so long until, well, a good use of the internet, I suppose. So
Yeah.
so there is strength in numbers. So it's, you know, one of those things where, you know, it's finally getting to that point. But now you're right. There should be a shift to what do men do now?
Yeah, balls in your court, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay, transitioning kind of back to the fun questions. So we talked about your favorite actors.
Yes.
What are some of your favorite films?
Favorite
Or
film?
TV shows, Netflix show, like anything. Favorite stuff to watch.
Oh my God. So many things.
That's okay.
I know. It's just my brain just went on overload. So I'll just go with like the most recent things that I've been watching. I recently rewatched Shaun of the Dead, and it is one of my absolute favorite movies. Like that and Hot Fuzz, which are like the same people.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
understand.
yeah.
But I just love that Edgar Wright style that's just really quick, and there's such attention to detail. Like just seeing some of the shots repeated in Shaun of the Dead, like when the world is normal and then when the zombies like are happening. Spoilers. I mean, that movie came out a long time ago.
Yeah.
So if you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's a funny take on like the zombie horror genre. Because there is some really gory stuff in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
yeah.
in Hot Fuzz. Maybe I just like violence. Sorry, guys. I'm really not a violent person.
humor, so.
Yes.
That's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. You know it's all fake.
Yeah.
It's okay.
It's over the top a bit sometimes, so yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
but
what
then-
makes it so funny.
Exactly. But then as far as like a TV show goes, I really like Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Right? Yes.
Oh, you
just
found a
having
show
this
buddy.
conversation
Yes.
last night. Yes.
It's so good.
It's amazing.
Well, I mean, I just love ensemble casts in general.
Right.
Because it's so nice. Like, there is an obvious main story, but then the supporting characters are still so rich and full and cool to watch.
And there's
And
just jokes layered on jokes that
Yes.
you can continue from episode to episode while still having a brand new story in each episode. And it's just phenomenal.
I think they just did a really great job casting. Because I know,
Yeah.
like, I don't remember exactly what the figure is, so if anybody wants to fact check me, go ahead. But it was like 80% of casting, or 80% of a show's success is basically just how it's cast. And
Which
like,
makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it has to be a cast that gels and really works well together, especially for comedy.
Right.
Yes.
Comedy
Right.
can be so difficult, especially to appeal to so many audiences.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think Brooklyn Nine-Nine does a good job of that. And it's very cheesy. I like silly humor.
That's good. I haven't caught Brooklyn Nine-Nine yet because it's not on Netflix or Amazon.
It's on Hulu.
It's on Hulu.
I don't have Hulu.
That's okay. You can get Hulu free for like a month. I might be throwing that number out there incorrectly. It
When
might
I
be like
get
a
a
week.
month, I'll
Yes.
take
But
the
yeah, there you go. Or even like a week. I'm
Or
telling
just borrow
you.
somebody's password.
Or that, to be honest. I legitimately.
I just watch Seinfeld over and over again. I'd be like, oh,
Seinfeld
there's
is good.
Seinfeld.
Seinfeld is good.
Do yourself a favor, do some Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yeah, it's going to change your life.
Yeah.
I got through how many seasons are on Hulu right now? Because they're on season 6 now?
Yeah, I
it?
think it's 5 seasons.
Yeah. So I got through all 5 seasons way faster than any human should get through 5 seasons of something.
It's so easy.
Because I couldn't stop, like can't stop, won't stop. I'd be at work in the middle of flights and I'm like, well, I'm just going to sit here and watch an episode. And it goes so quick and it's so funny that you legitimately don't want to stop. It's so good.
Have you seen E.T. yet?
So Elora.
Oh, there's some backstory.
of
I need some context. What's up? Confession
So
time.
I have like
Yeah.
there's like a laundry list of films that
Up
I
here,
haven't seen for no
Hannah.
for no reason.
We all have one.
Yes.
There's nothing to be ashamed of.
And the majority of films that people on the podcast mention that they love are films that I have not seen.
yeah.
E.T. is one of those. And so Alan borrowed it to me and I still haven't watched it yet. It stems from like a weird thing when I was a kid. E.T. freaked me out. Like I was scared of him.
Yeah.
And yeah.
No, I understand.
See? Yeah. And so I haven't brought myself. I'm going to. It's literally like on the TV stand next to the TV, waiting for me to put it into the player. Like
The tray.
I am
the tray is open and
this
waiting
close.
for you.
Exactly. Like I'm one step away. So it's just a matter of.
Well, just put it in. You don't have to press play yet. One
Okay, so
step
it's
at a
2
time.
steps away.
Baby steps. Just like What About Bob?
Right.
Remember that one?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So yes.
I don't think
She's
I've
one
seen that
for
one
2.
either.
It's really
To be
good.
fair.
You should
Yeah.
really watch
Okay.
it. It's very
Cool.
good.
I'll add it to my list
You should.
that I always say that I have, and then I don't have a physical copy of it.
Right. I feel like
Yep.
that's the important part. Yeah. I don't either. I really should. Maybe that's the trick.
Yeah. Maybe when I go home after this, I'll actually write out the list.
Yeah. That's
We'll
our new.
see.
That's another goal for us.
Yes.
Well, Laura,
Write out our lists.
of all the roles you've played in the past, what have been your favorites?
Oh boy. I think first one off the top of my head was a role that I had in college, and I was cast against my typecast. Like, I usually am more of the maybe like more put together, polished character
Okay.
that's kind of sassier.
Mhm.
I don't know if that's really like a typecast, but there was a role in this show that fit that description. And of course, when I went to audition for it, I was like, I would definitely accept that role. Like, please.
Yeah.
That looks like so much fun to play. But I instead was cast as this other role, which was actually the lead character. But she was really genuine and honest and had no agenda, no vendettas against anybody. She was just very sweet. And anybody that was in that cast knows exactly who I'm talking about. But the show was called The Cover of Life. And it's a show that's not put on a whole lot, I think, up here in the northern half of the U.S. because it's set in Louisiana.
Mm-hmm.
And it's set during World War II, so it's, like mid-1900s in the South.
Mm-hmm.
And it's these women that all married brothers. So they're three brothers that all go off to war at the same time. And they're in different branches of the military. And in order to save money, the wives all move in with their mother-in-law. So it almost sounds like a weird farcical comedy, but it's really not.
Right.
Like, it has its funny moments, but the story itself, it has so much heart and so much, like, there's so much dimension to the characters. Because, like, there's this reporter from New York who works for Life magazine, and she's sent on this assignment to do kind of a fluff piece. Because, these women that are married to three brothers moved in together. Let's see what kind of housewifey things they do. But really, like, my character is struggling with her identity and saying, I have these dreams for myself and I have goals. And all of these people that I live with that surround me are telling me that that's not what I'm supposed to do. And that I'm supposed to stay at home. I'm supposed to have a family, which I want, but I also want to be successful. I want to do more than just do other people's laundry and like cook and clean and
Right. Wow.
yeah. And I love it so much.
Did you do a Southern accent?
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah,
get a
Jude Clifford
little
was
bit?
real sweet.
Can I get a little bit of that?
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Well, and of course, my husband's name was Tommy, which was super fun to say all the time.
Nice.
Where did you go to school where you got to do that at, if that's more of a Southern
Oh yeah.
show?
I went to St. Catherine University in St. Paul.
Oh, okay.
And I think it was just one of the shows that it was like a diamond in the rough. Like, the director just found it one day. I mean, she does a lot of research.
Yeah.
And I have no idea how or where she found this, but she was like, we're doing this.
Yeah. That's
Especially,
awesome.
like, St. Kate's is an all-women's college or university for people that don't know. And it's difficult to find men to be in shows.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And this particular show had 6 women and 1 man in the cast,
okay.
which helped a lot.
Yeah.
And the 1 man played my husband.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Nobody else's husbands came back.
Oh.
Aw,
Aw.
shucks. And that's a whole other sad part of the story, but
Yeah.
we won't talk about that. But yeah, that was one of my favorite roles,
Nice.
at least on stage.
How about for film?
Film. Oh, I've had so many good ones. Like, I've worked with so many great people, and they all have great ideas and like great characters. Because, like, I know, Alan, you and I did, it was almost a PSA on sex trafficking.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a really cold day on set too.
Yeah.
But I think ultimately it is a story that needs to be told.
Yeah.
And it is really uncomfortable. But that's the kind of stuff that I'm like, we have to lean into this.
Yeah.
And just tell it.
That's where the inspiration for Details came from, because I drew it together now, and that's why it is what it is. So they have to watch that now to get what's going on.
Right. Yes, go watch it. It's called Locked/Locks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's that, but I think my very favorite one recently, I already brought up, is my role as Alex in Femme 101. Yeah. Well, and I have a couple things on the docket for this year already, so I'm excited to dive into those roles too. But
awesome.
Yeah, Alex she was so much fun.
Is that on YouTube or anything? Or?
It is on Sika TV.
Oh, okay.
It's like a local streaming site. I think it's mostly for independent web series. I never know the plural to that.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I've heard of that.
Yes. So it will be on that.
Okay.
And
cool.
I mean, it'll be on the festival circuit as well. Like, the people that are behind the scenes on that are really doing a great job of getting the word out. Like Miss Cat, the teacher, she has her own Twitter account and Instagram, and she's been posting, and
oh, nice.
it's very fun. Yeah.
Fun.
Nice.
So go look for that.
So we kind of already touched on this, but just to take it a bit further. So we had your favorite films. Are there any films that are really inspiring or influential for you at this point in your film career? Whether they're local, like independent films, whether they're big box office, like whatever, any level.
Yeah. Well, I think I go more local for this question.
Yeah.
Just because, like, I know bigger films tend to have bigger budgets, and then they can do whatever they want. But local things, I think it's cool to see how people do so much with so little funding. And I think the films that are inspiring me, and they have no idea that I'm going to say anything about them. One was by a local filmmaker. Her name is Cara. I'm going to butcher her last name. Like Hawkinson? I'm so sorry if I did. But I had seen a short that she had done at Cinema Lounge. And I believe it's called 15. And it's about this girl, played by her, losing her virginity. And it was just such a frank and honest point of it. Like, it wasn't overly sexualized, and it wasn't like porn or anything.
Right.
But it was just like, I was sitting there, eyes glued to the screen, being like, I relate to this so hard. Like, you can tell that it's written by a woman. You can tell that this is a genuine story, like a genuine heartfelt thing. And I so want to make things like that, and I want to see more of it. Which brings me to my other film. It's called Girl Stuff. Shout out to Tiffany and to Kendra Elora. Hi. They just made this film, and I'm so proud of them, because it, like, we were talking about it the last time that I saw them, and it's going to be hilarious, at least for me. I think people are really going to think that it's funny too.
Yeah.
Just because it is so open, honest, frank. And like, these are real conversations that their girlfriends have had with them.
Yeah.
Or just real things that they've said. Like, a lot of the script is pulled from girls' nights.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited to see it.
Yeah.
Because I have not seen it yet.
Nice.
At the time of this recording.
Right.
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 Yeah.
I've seen it.
I know, I wish I could gush more genuinely about it.
Right.
I am so happy and excited for them, but I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
So there's only so far I can go.
Right.
But I'm sure it's amazing.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And that's just, I want to see more of that. And I also want to see more diverse casting too. Because I think it's so easy for, especially Minnesotans, because so many of us are pasty white and Scandinavian. But there are so many talented actors, like, regardless of skin color, that deserve to be on the screen and probably fit the part better.
Yeah.
Go back to that conversation.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Well, is there something that you really want to do now more than ever?
Yes.
What?
I want to be a villain. I want to be the killer in a horror film. I want to flip that script a little bit.
Okay.
I think that would be so fun. And maybe it's because of my first on-stage experience where the role itself was supposed to be this, big burly mobster.
Right.
Oh.
And instead it was me. I think that ignited a fire in me that I want to play characters like that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's like, surprise, motherfuckers.
Exactly. Didn't expect me, did you?
Yeah.
That would be very fun. Okay, so if all writers and directors out there listening,
Yes.
you got a villain right here.
Casting call.
Yes.
I'm
And
your lady.
for when they decide that they want to cast you in their role, where can they find your work and how can they contact you?
Ooh. Well, I'm on Facebook. It's my name. Like, I don't have any stage names or anything. I'm also on Instagram at Elora Riley. I'm on Twitter. I don't really use it, but if you're curious, it's Elora D. Riley, because I guess Elora Riley was already taken somehow.
Rude.
Yeah. Also that.
That bitch.
I know. I'm gonna find her and we're gonna fight because that's what you do.
Yep. Way to solve that.
Fun story though. There is another Elora out there that I've met. She went to St. Kate's.
What?
I know,
Oh,
and she
wow.
spells it the same way. Like her parents found the name the
You
same
have
way
a
my parents did.
copycat.
I know.
Yeah.
Technically, I am older, so
So that's
Well,
her.
she made it
that's
up.
her fault.
She made it up. Yeah.
yeah. Well, I don't want to
Well,
fight
you're
her.
the
She's a
original
really
then.
awesome person.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yes. Well, and the thing is, like, my parents took the first and the middle name from the movie.
Hmm.
So if you've seen the movie, you
What
know my
movie?
first and middle name.
What movie?
What movie?
Oh, sorry. So my name is from a movie. Heads up. Sorry, I completely glossed over
You're
that. My name is from the movie Willow, and it stars
Oh, yeah.
Warwick Davis and Val Kilmer.
Love that movie.
Yeah, it's great, especially for being made in the late '80s and
Yeah.
having the visual effects that they did. But I'm named after the baby princess in the movie.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah.
I forgot the name of the baby. Yeah.
I know.
Huh.
Elora Dannon.
Yeah.
Yeah, so whenever I love making people guess my middle name because if you don't know the movie, you're never gonna get it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's
and now
pretty
everybody
awesome,
knows
though.
my middle name. Yeah.
Yeah. Just Google it. They don't.
So Laura,
You're right.
what's next for you? 2019 here.
2019. Well, hopefully we'll get into some. This isn't a group effort. Hopefully, I will get into some into some stage.
We got your
performance.
back. Come on.
Thanks.
We'll be there.
Have like people cheering for me at an audition, like
Yes.
with signs.
You got this.
You're gonna be great. Yeah, so hopefully a stage show. But otherwise, I am hopefully going into production for this other web series that will be on Sika as well. It's called Utopia Planitia, and it's about this colony of humans that are living on Mars. And I play a supporting character in that, and it's a really cool concept. Like I think it's going to be kind of like film noir-ish,
Okay.
but it's set in the future. And it's kind of like utopian society,
Yeah.
but
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
under the guise of it all, it's a dystopia. Oh no.
Oh.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But
That's exciting.
Yeah, it's a cool story, and I'm excited to bring that character to life too.
Mm.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
And lastly, Elora,
Uh-huh.
what do you want people to remember most about you?
Aw.
Everyone's favorite question.
Right? I want to be feared and loved. No.
Perfect.
Okay, Michael Scott.
Cut.
Exactly. Thank you for getting that. I think the biggest thing, at least for people that actually know me personally, that they see me as like a kind friend who's there for them and that is always here to listen and will try and make them laugh even if I make a fool of myself. That's just kind of the person that I've always been. But as far as my work goes, I hope that people see like the three-dimensional characters that I've spent so much time like working on. And that, I don't know. I guess like I want to be respected. I mean, nobody doesn't want that.
Mm-hmm.
English, double negatives everywhere. But just that, like if they think of me, they're like, oh yeah, she's cool. I think that's the biggest takeaway. Like,
that's good.
Even if she's all right.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. Like, don't put me on a pedestal. That's scary. I'm scared of heights.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Yeah. Don't do that. Ladders are bad.
Yeah. Like, let me be human.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with us today and chatting.
It's been super fun. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah.
And thank you, listeners, for tuning in.
Okay, you guys.
Yeah.
Forgot you were in the room. Creep.
Thanks for tuning in to Film in Minnesota. I'm Alan Tracy.
I'm Rahana, and we'll catch you next time.
Peace out.